Tonight at the Rio, 8 players are faced with one daunting task: take down the poker force, the owner of 6 World Series bracelets, Erik Seidel.
Erik obviously is the favorite.
Erik Seidel is a monster. He's so unpredictable. You never know what he's got.
He's a nightmare to play against. Absolutely phenomenal.
My favorite thing about poker is playing final tables. This is what it's all about.
For Erik, it's all about outlasting the other 8 players at the table and walking away a 7-time World Series of Poker bracelet winner. A legend looks to add to his legacy. Welcome to the 2005 World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light. People have been turning out in record numbers so far this year. Just over 1,400 entered this $2,000 no-limit hold'em event. We're now down to our final 9.
Hello, everybody. Along with Norman Chad, I'm Lon McCarran. You know, it's pretty remarkable with so many wannabes flocking to play in this huge field that we end up with some very recognizable faces at our final table, including some World Series bracelet winners, most notably Cyndy, Violette, and Erik Seidel.
Erik Seidel gets kidded about finishing second a lot, but he also finishes first a lot. He has 6 World Series bracelets, 6th all time, and it's not inconceivable that one day he could be number 1.
Well, seeing a lot of top players working their way through these large fields underscores the fact that poker is a game of skill more than just luck, and Erik proves that year after year, winning bracelets in a variety of games. Cyndy won her only World Series bracelet last year in stud high-low.
Perry Friedman won his World Series bracelet in 2002 in Omaha high-low.
$612,000 in the gold bracelet to our winner, and Morgan Machina is in great position to take that. He has more than 3 times as many chips as the second-place player right now. And the short stack of the table is Bill Blanda at his first final table ever at the World Series of Poker. And on the Milwaukee's Best Light pocket cam, he's got ace-4 offsuit.
Blanda won a WPT title last year, trying to add a World Series bracelet to his resume.
He pushes in his remaining 40,000 chips. Chris Wunderlich does not want to play. Cyndy, Violette, and Erik Seidel give it up. And Fabrice Soulier does likewise. Action on Perry Friedman. Pocket 9s. Friedman is not folding.
What should I do? I think you need to call here.
What is that?
It's 1 player per hand.
He says call.
There's no reason. Talk to the bad guy.
And this guy says raise.
Blanda's in trouble. He thought he was heads up.
But these are 2 players who'd like to have a lot of fun at the table, Lon.
The rest of the table folds, allows Friedman and Blanda to go heads up. And Blanda shows his ace-4.
Good luck to you. Hey, I want you to throw out a bunch of those right there.
Blanda all in for his tournament life, trying to get some help.
Perry Friedman trying to draw first blood at this final table, knock out Blanda.
Keep me alive. Just 2 of them.
He's looking for aces, and the flop comes. Queen, 3-10.
Not good.
Dry for Blanda.
Just give me a 9 and get it over with.
That's what I do when I'm making rabbit stew, Lon.
And now the turn. Oh, it is a 9, and it is over with. Friedman wins the hand.
Is that a good call or is that a good call?
That's a little suspicious, Lon.
Give me a 9 and get it over with.
Useless card on the river. Bill Blanda is eliminated from this final table. Ninth place, over $51,000 he will take home. And Perry Friedman and friends stack their chips.
This is Perry's 4th World Series final table. I don't know if he always brings a crowd.
There's the bracelet that will go to the winner of event number 9. 42 events at this year's World Series. Fabrice Soulier from France looks at his cards.
I fold.
Thank you.
Lon, where else would you rather be than sitting here watching them sit there, huh?
Morgan Machina, the heavyweight at the table, over 1 million chips, will not play this hand. Paul Sexton, a couple of deuces in the pocket. And he will play. And he pushes in 45,000 chips. His dad, Keith, a very good player in his own right. We saw him at a final table at the circuit event at Rincon.
Yeah, they are starting a poker dynasty over at the Sexton household.
Over to Cyndy, Violette. Nope. And Erik Seidel, pocket nines.
And he is a one-man poker dynasty.
His decision to call Paul Sexton's 45,000 chip bet. We're heads up. The flop is 7-5-7. Seidel still in control.
And with his pocket nines, nothing in that flop would really scare him. He will be first to act.
Erik Seidel bets 65,000 chips to the 22-year-old Sexton.
Oh, we got a big raise from Sexton.
130,000 chips with deuces. And now action on the seasoned pro, Seidel.
All in.
Says all in. It turns it up on Sexton.
You're messing with the wrong guy, son.
His dad probably knows that a little better than his son.
I don't know what Erik picked up on Paul, but that's a heck of a re-raise there. Maybe he's played with the father before and knows the kid has the same facial tick, but Erik Seidel knows he has his hand well in hand.
Seidel shooting laser beams with his eyes through the younger Sexton. And now he melts and folds.
Makes the smart laydown.
Erik Seidel wins the hand. Took about half of the stack from Paul Sexton.
Wow. He must have ace king.
No ace king, but Erik Seidel wins with nines. He's got a lot more chips, and that could be very dangerous for the rest of the table.
The 2005 World Series of Poker is presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, brewed for a man's taste, Miller Brewing Company, and in part by New Degree for Men, with twice the protection you need. It won't let you down. And Harrah's Entertainment, home of the world's richest poker tournament. The World Series of Poker presented by Milwaukee's Best Light.
Back at the Rio Hotel and Casino, we're 8 players now at the final table. The blinds are at 8 and 16,000. And Harry Demetriou, world traveler, world-class poker player.
This is his second straight final table at this year's World Series.
Folds a jack deuce over to Chris Wunderlich. Ace king. No folding there for the short stack.
I'm all in.
Nope. He's going to commit it all. All in with ace king. Table folding.
These guys down here seem to have a uniform. Black top, sunglasses.
I call.
And Paul Sexton with pocket jacks, and he's going to make the call. And he'll push his chips in and have the advantage with his jacks against Wunderlich.
Wunderlich with the 2 overcards, all in.
Wunderlich finished in the money at the seniors event in 2002 here at the World Series.
Come on, Jacks. How about a jack? Spike me a jack.
Paul's younger brother, Matt, hoping for the case jack. Demetriou folded a jack. And Wunderlich's tournament life at stake now, going to the flop. And it comes out 7-7 jack, a full house for Sexton.
Well, this is like Wheel of Fortune. They call out a letter and then they turn it over.
Wunderlich now needs a lot of help.
He'll need running aces, kings, or sevens.
And the turn card is none of those. Wunderlich drawing dead. It's a meaningless card on the river. Sexton wins the hand. Chris Wunderlich, eliminated here in 8th place, takes a nice payday with $77,000.
Good job, Paulie. Good job, Paul.
Paul's dad, Keith, obviously pleased. And given that we've seen both of these players at final tables this year, you gotta wonder which Sexton is the better player.
We play a lot of family games, me, my dad, and my brother. My dad said, "You're never gonna be as good as me. You can always learn more from me."
I'm all in.
He believes it too, and I don't know. I don't think I'm as good as he is yet.
I hate to say it, but he's pretty much dominated me. He's got me red in our matches. We usually play for the loser has to do laundry. I think his style's is conservative, but he's not scared to put it in there if he thinks he has the best hand.
I got straight.
Me too. Mine's all hard.
He has no give up, even when he's low on chip counts and stuff like that. He's got an uncanny ability to keep going and stay in it anyway.
You can't be serious. You can't be serious. Let me go do the laundry then, I guess.
I enjoy spending this time with him because it's coming to an end. Somebody's going to entertain me besides these kids.
I leaned on my dad for like everything I know. For him to be there today, it means so much to me.
Well, his dad, Keith, was supposed to play in a $2,000 no-limit tournament today, but he decided to skip that and come watch his son. He's probably more nervous watching than he would be playing.
Paul says their dream is to make a final table together, and he says his brother Matt is actually the best player in the family. That's scary. Sexton folds, as does Demetriou, and Violette and Seidel also get out of the way. Over to Fabrice Soulier, ace-10 of diamonds.
I'll raise it.
He's going to push. Doesn't have a lot of chips left, but he throws in 37,000. Next to Perry Friedman with an ace and a jack.
How much more do you have?
I got like 40, 60, 71 left.
71 more?
Perry Friedman is a software developer. He's a self-described internet geek who's a semi-professional part-time player.
I'll put him all in.
Perry's going to put him to the test.
Is Perry allowed to put them all in with his sunglasses off?
Ah, there you go.
Okay, now we're set.
So, Fabrice Soulier with a decision.
Yeah, he's caught between a rock and a hard place. Not a lot of chips left.
Can I survive with those chips? That's my question. Survive with those chips.
If he could see Perry's cards, he'd fold right now because he's dominated in the hand.
All right.
And Soulier is going to move all in, figuring he did not have a lot of chips to play with had he folded.
Need some tens.
So he's going to base his tournament life on the ace-10.
I'll shake your head when I'm gone.
Is that a new rule? You got to wait till...
I like the rule.
It's a good rule.
Yeah. Friedman, a 2-1 advantage.
I feel it. I feel it.
And the flop, no. 4-2-7.
I don't think he was feeling that.
I don't think so.
Jack of clubs.
10 of club.
Oh, Vanna White has left the building. They got the club.
10 of 5.
With a 10, Soulier would win. With a 5, they'd split the pot with a wheel. Otherwise, he is wamboozled.
And wamboozled he is. A deuce on the river means Perry Friedman will win the hand and eliminate Fabrice Soulier in 7th place.
Again.
Soulier takes home over $103,000 from this World Series of Poker final table, and Friedman and his alter ego, with a very big smile, stack the newly earned chips. Welcome back to the Rio. We are six-handed now with the blinds at 10,000 and 20,000. Cyndy, Violette yet to play. Erik Seidel folds as well. Over to our chip leader, Morgan Machina. And he's got ace-king.
Morgan has his own company that runs poker tournaments for corporate events and charities.
And he's going to come out with 60,000 chips. Paul Sexton thinks better of it, gets out of the hand. Over to Harry Demetriou, 46 years old. Queen of hearts, Jack of spades.
Come on.
And Harry's going to move everything into the pot.
He's had very little to look at today. Those look like two jokers to him. He gets an immediate call from Morgan.
And Machina turns over his ace-king. Demetriou with queen jack is in a world of hurt.
Well, at least he has 2 live cards, but he's still a 2-1 underdog to stay alive in this tournament.
So Demetriou, with all his chips in the pot, looking for the flop, needs a lot of help. And the flop comes queen, ace, deuce. They both pair their top card.
And that's bad news for Harry because Morgan's got the better top card, a pair of aces against Harry's pair of queens.
And now the turn card, Machina with another king.
And that gives Machina aces up. The king, though, a little help for Harry. Gives him another out. He can still stay alive if he makes a queen on the river, or a 10 would give him a straight.
And now the river card, a harmless 6. Morgan Machina wins the hand, gets all the remaining chips of Harry Demetriou, who finishes in 6th place. And chip leader Morgan Machina is still top gun at this final table, which is no surprise considering who helped him acquire his competitive edge.
When I moved to Madison, Wisconsin to go to school at the university there, I started playing on the Ultimate Frisbee Club, and Phil Helmy played on the Ultimate Frisbee Club.
Ultimate Frisbee? Let me tell you about Ultimate Frisbee. I broke my collarbone, and it was a spectacular play. It was like, oh my God. Morgan and I started playing in the big poker game, and was a bunch of doctors and lawyers.
We probably played 60 hours a week together.
Poker is poker.
What did I learn from Phil?
If there weren't luck involved, I guess I'd win every one.
Despite being a friend of his, it's hard to get any kind of information out of Phil.
What do I get paid? If he comes up to me when he's at a final table and says, Phil, what should I do? I might tell him to calm down. Morgan has a lot of talent. He has the patience to wait for hands, and he has a pretty good reading ability, too.
Having a high confidence and just thinking I'm going to win can sometimes get you there. I think that's what I learned from Phil.
Lon, I have trouble envisioning Phil Hellmuth playing Ultimate Frisbee, and I'm told he stopped playing because of all the bad beats.
Morgan Machina with ace-8 offsuit. And the chip leader is going to come out with 60,000 chips. Sexton gives it up. Tough spot to be behind Morgan Machina. Over to Cyndy Violette with a couple of kings.
All in.
And she's going to push everything in. 75,000 chips all in for Cyndy Violette.
Like Harry Demetriou, she's seen very little to play today. She plays a very solid game. When she comes in, you got to figure she's going to be holding a good hand.
Her daughter Shannon looking on, looks very tense.
I hope I've got some live cards. I got a call.
And Morgan Machina, our chip leader, with a chance to knock out a very strong player, calls.
And he does have live cards, which is all he was asking for there. He knew he'd probably be up against a pocket pair.
And the flop is 4-4-10. Machina still shopping for an ace.
Cyndy Violette in for her tournament life.
3, and that keeps the scales tipped heavily towards Cyndy.
Morgan can still knock out Cyndy on the river with an ace.
And now the river card. Another 3, and that closes out the hand. Cyndy Violette wins with her pocket kings and doubles up through the chip leader.
Hold my breath.
Two very acy looking cards there.
Well, this 2004 Bracelet winner can breathe easier for right now. Morgan Machina takes a hit, but not a big one. He can afford it. But Cyndy Violette has kept her seat at this final table, and she's got a few more chips to play with. Welcome back to the Rio Poker Pavilion, and running on all cylinders all the time, even when our final table nestled in the corner of this room continues play. We are 5-handed.
Erik Seidel once was quite self-conscious playing on TV, took him out of his game. He feared he'd make a big mistake that others would see.
Seidel's got pocket 4s and throws out 60,000 chips. And action on Perry Friedman.
Oh, you steal from the button. It's the evil hand, though. I don't listen to him.
Lon, I like these 3 guys down here, Perry, Morgan, and Paul. I just wish they weren't wearing sunglasses. It's like wearing a hat in a nice restaurant.
And they all look alike, too.
You can't tell the difference between these 3.
Morgan Machina, ace-10 offsuit.
Get more black chips. That's it.
He's Erik Seidel. Of course he has more black chips.
I don't think he does.
Okay.
And Erik hates the fact he has no more black chips. Black chips worth 10,000 each. You like to have a lot of black chips. Oh, Morgan is coming over the top. 120,000 of them. That forces everybody else out back to Erik Seidel.
All in.
We've heard Erik say 2 things today, all in and all in.
Well, I think the lesson here is you don't ask Erik if he has more black chips.
Morgan Machina with an ace-10, pair of 4s for Seidel.
Erik always looks like he's about to discover plutonium. Yeah, a lot of heat on Morgan now, and he's got a big decision to make here.
Machina folds.
He has to hand for help.
And now Erik Seidel has some black chips to play with.
Nice hand.
Seidel's strong reputation helped him scare Machina out of that pot, but we were first introduced to Erik with a rather infamous moment that will live on forever thanks to Hollywood and the movie Rounders.
Erik Seidel cannot win this hand, and yet he doesn't know it.
88 World Series, huh?
It's a strange thing to have one of your worst moments played over and over and over, you know, on a movie screen.
Chan is trying to sucker him in.
I actually thought it would be kind of a fun thing to be in Rounders.
He knows his man well enough to check it all the way.
I read the lines and I was a little upset at the time.
Will Erik Seidel fall for the bait?
He owns them.
Yes, he's going all in.
It wasn't the greatest way to be immortalized, but, it's out there. I don't think it's a bad thing.
And Chan has him. Johnny Chan, the master.
In another way, that tournament was also one of my favorite moments because it was the first tournament I played and get heads up with Johnny Chan, who at the time was the best player in the world.
Johnny Chan, the master.
Pete doesn't know what hit him.
The movie was banned from my house.
Well, Johnny Chan, one of only 5 players in World Series history with more bracelets than Erik.
Rua Seidel, Erik's wife, has watched her husband win 6 bracelets. Would love to see number 7 on his wrist by the end of the day. Erik folds his cards over to Perry Friedman. His right hand whispers in his ear, fold. Morgan Machina, our chip leader still. 8-5 offsuit.
From the small blind, he's going to raise.
He pushes it to 50,000. To Paul Sexton, a senior at the University of San Diego. He's studying electrical engineering, and he makes the call with his queen jack of hearts. So heads up Sexton and Machina. Sexton with the advantage. And the flop comes jack, queen, 6. Sexton pairs both of his pocket cards.
Yeah, top 2 pair for Sexton. He's in command of the hand. Machina checks.
He's got nothing.
Sexton checks behind him, hoping maybe to get a little action from Machina down the road.
Turn card, another jack, and Sexton with another full house earns the check mark. Wow. The Machina's going to bet, drawing dead, 50,000 chips.
Well, he's picked a bad spot to bluff at the pot. His opponent has an unbeatable hand.
Paul Sexton can only lose his hand if he folds, and he's nowhere near folding. Raises 100,000. And now Morgan Machina.
I think he's just trying to save face here, Lon.
Yeah.
This is a hand where you just fold it. We've discussed this before. It's a pretty basic rule. It's okay to bluff at the pot, but if your opponent raises you, you get out of dodge, preferably on the next bus.
I'm all in.
Oh!
Sexton immediately calls, and Machina is shocked to see a full house.
Oh, geez. Sexton doubles up. And for Morgan, Lon, when you say all in and you're drawing dead, the poker police have to write you up a ticket. A monster misstep for Morgan Machina.
And a monster hit to his chip stack. Morgan Machina lost about 500,000 chips to Paul Sexton. Machina still got a lot to play with, but nowhere near the amount he had at the start of this final table, and Paul Sexton is now forced to be reckoned with. And as you can imagine, Dad Keith very happy to see his son in such a good position at this final table.
Oh, there.
Action continues now.
I didn't answer, sorry.
I'm short my pot.
Cyndy still short stacked, needs every chip she can get. It's no accident Erik forgot to ante. How do you think he wins all these tournaments?
Slap on the wrist from Perry Friedman, too. Erik Seidel antes and then throws away his cards as well. Over to our chip leader, Morgan Machina. Got a 10 of hearts and a king of hearts. Morgan reaching for chips.
He's still got black chips.
That's a good thing for Morgan Machina. 60,000 chips he'll throw into the pot. Sexton folds over to Violette. And she's looking at an 8 and 10 of diamonds. Cyndy carries lucky rocks when she plays. They got her to the final table.
I carry those exact lucky charms when I go to the proctologist.
Well, Cyndy's going to need all the help she can get right now as she trails, and this is our degree all-in moment with her last 58,000 chips in the pot.
And she's picked a bad time to put them in. She had very little choice, but she's dominated as they share a 10, and she's a big underdog to stay alive.
I know.
She and Morgan Machina have gone heads up before. Her daughter Shannon saw her take some chips from the chip leader earlier, and right now Cyndy Violette is going to need some help.
Diamonds.
And the flop comes. Queen, deuce, ace. Violette missed that flop.
Machina actually picks up a straight draw, and very little to offer for Cyndy there as she tries to stay alive in this tournament.
So Violette is the long shot on the turn. Got a 4 diamonds, and that gives her some more outs.
Cyndy trying to manufacture a little more luck here. Morgan Machina trying to take her out of this tournament. Cyndy can stay alive if on the river she gets an 8 or a diamond.
And now the river card. Oh, it's the 8. Cyndy Violette earns the degree, all-in checkmark, winning the hand, doubling her chips once again through Morgan Machina.
She's been all but out of here a couple of times. And we see Morgan has one big difference with Phil Hellmuth, how he handles a bad beat.
Well, Cyndy said it was her pot at the beginning of the hand, and she took it down. Those lucky rocks are working like charms.
The all-in moment is brought to you by New Degree for men who take risks. It won't let you down. The Toyota Points Leader is brought to you by Toyota. Choose any direction, as long as it's forward. Toyota, moving forward.
The World Series of Poker has become quite the family affair. We've already seen the Sextons, but fathers and sons are everywhere. There's Doyle Brunson and his son Todd, Barry Greenstein and his son Joe Seabuck. Siblings are here too. Howard Lederer and his sister Annie Duke are back again, as well as the Boyd brothers, Bobby and Dutch. Jerry Thomas and her husband Harry have both won World Series of Poker bracelets. Marco Traniello is new to the poker scene, but he's got some quality help at home, being married to Jennifer Harmon. And so far, he's doing better than his wife at this year's World Series, having cashed 3 times already. On the Toyota Player of the Year leaderboard, Alan Cunningham tops the list, but with her success in the circuit events, Jennifer Harmon is in the top 10. Back to our final table here. As we mentioned, Paul, of course, at this final table, his dad Keith made a final table. Can you combine family points to get on the leaderboard?
When you're playing Monopoly, you can do that and gang up on others, but not in poker.
Okay, too bad. The dwindling chip stack of the man who was the chip leader at the beginning of the day. He's lost about half of it now, a lot of it to Cyndy Violette. Morgan Machina checking his hole. He's always got an ace or a king at least.
Didn't I tell you, stay away?
You could send Perry to a therapist, but I don't think it would be fair to the therapist.
Machina, who has ace-king, is going to raise it to $75,000. Paul Sexton says, no thanks, not me. Action now on Cyndy Violette with 1 jack, pocket jacks.
She hasn't had many hands to play today, but when she's had a hand, it's been a big hand.
Come on, then.
And Cyndy Violette is going to tango once again with Morgan Machina, pushing her last 272,000 chips into the pot. Action on Friedman. Does he want to stay and play?
Easy decision.
No.
Morgan has Cyndy covered, so if he calls, Cyndy will be at risk for all her chips.
Hard not to call with ace-king, but he's had such a run of bad luck.
I can't imagine him laying this down.
And he does not lay it down. He pushes in. Cyndy Violette now at risk once again of being knocked out of this tournament.
Okay, here we go.
But she's got a slight lead with the pocket jacks.
All right, baby.
This is like Ali Frazier 3.
Yeah.
Every time we look up, they're in the center of the ring, these two.
Jacks.
You know, Norman, I never trust pocket jacks. They always seem to come in second place for some reason. I don't know. Cyndy's got it. She's got the lead. Here's our flop. Pair of queens and a 9-0 to help Machina.
She's still in first place right now with her pocket jacks. Trying to avoid an ace or a king.
Now the turn card's a 3 of hearts, Violet, now with a 9-1 advantage.
And a great turn card for Cyndy. She now has a heart draw.
Come on, ace king. It's my turn.
He is due.
Machina can still knock her out, but he needs an ace or a king on the river, and it can't be a heart.
7 of diamonds on the river. Cyndy Violette does it again, dealing another blow to Morgan Machina, and he cannot believe it.
Yeah, at this point, Lon Hellmuth would have torn the felt off the table and set a brush fire at the dealer's feet.
Well, Cyndy got about 300,000 of Morgan's chips, and Cyndy's dad happy to see that. Every time Morgan sits down, he's got fewer and fewer chips. Violette's chip stack much healthier now, and that's a reflection of her eating habits, which surprisingly has been a key ingredient to her success.
Well, my food is very important to me, what I eat, how I feel. I have a friend of mine who is an excellent macrobiotic cook.
People tend to make macrobiotics very complicated, and really it's very simple. We eat according to how we want to feel. Breakfast this morning is millet cakes with tofu sour cream and miso soup.
In macrobiotics, we eat in the middle, grains and vegetables, so we don't eat meat, and we really learn about the energy of foods and how it affects you. It's just incredible. I love macrobiotics, I do.
Cyndy's love is translating into poker prosperity, which has caught the attention of some players who've also jumped on the macrobiotic wagon, perhaps hoping to improve their game and health.
She's the best cook in the world, but don't tell anyone.
Breakfast of champion.
Fabulous. Cyndy's a genius.
They might have some outside. If you want to go outside right now, you can get some.
It's very green, the soup.
That's great. That was really great.
When I don't feel right energetically, I don't seem to like make them hands and stuff. I know it sounds crazy, but when I feel really good and clear, I do well.
I got ding-dongs. What do you got in your lunch today?
Twinkie and a ho-ho.
Yeah, that's good. Normal. We have seen a lot of movement here at this final table. Chip stacks flying around. The big story is Morgan Machina on a downward spiral, and Cyndy Violette with $740,000. She's a very powerful player and now has chips to play with, but no cards. She'll fold that hand over to Erik Seidel with pocket threes on the Milwaukee's Best Light pocket cam.
What makes Erik so effective is
75.
he is selectively aggressive. In no limit, people have trouble putting him on a hand.
Friedman folds. Morgan Machina folds over to Paul Sexton. King, 9 of diamonds. And he's all in.
Hope you don't have a pair.
And Seidel immediately calls him.
Sexton's chip stack had been dwindling, and it was now or never for him.
Sexton with everything on the line with King, 9 of diamonds.
No chance.
I don't know why he thinks he has no chance. It's a coin flip situation for him.
Erik Seidel with a pair of threes. And he doesn't look all that comfortable.
That's that baseball cap.
The flop, 3-5-8, Seidel with a set.
And Sexton knows where he speaks of. He knew he had no chance. Now he needs running diamonds or running straight cards to stay in this tournament.
Eric's wife happy to see that flop. Paul Sexton crestfallen right now as we wait for the turn. It's a queen, and that's going to do it. Erik Seidel wins the hand. Sexton drawing dead. Paul Sexton will take home $147,000.
Well, Paul's father has schooled him marvelously. He handles himself very well at the table and is quite polished.
And Erik Seidel just got a lot stronger. He has to be the man to beat here. Team Sexton will rest up, regroup, and be back at the felt in no time, I'm sure. And Seidel has some chips to continue his charge toward a 7th gold bracelet. Keith Sexton finished 6th at the circuit event at Rincon. Son Paul one-ups him with a 5th place finish here.
The World Series of Poker presented by Milwaukee's Best Light.
Looking at our chip counts, our one-time chip leader Morgan Machina in big trouble. It seems like the whole table staging a coup against the Chip King. Cyndy Violette is top dog right now. Action over to Machina, and he's looking at another king with an 8, and he's going to push all his chips into the middle.
Well, his chips disappeared as he made the one big mistake, ran into some tough luck after that, and all that created a meltdown.
Cyndy Violette with ace-queen offsuit.
I call.
And look who's turning the tables on Machina.
I don't have much.
These two have gone toe-to-toe.
I got 2 live cards.
And now, after so many times where Cyndy was all in against Machina, she's got him on the ropes.
Well, he'd like to see a turn of luck at some point. Otherwise, he's going to be going home.
And now the flop. Jack King 4. Machina pairs his king and takes the lead.
Finally.
Come on, keep it a baby.
He's waited a while, and now he's a 3-1 favorite to stay alive as he hits his king.
3 of hearts.
Machina trying to hang on to his tournament life here. And the turn card. Oh!
Ace! Yeah!
Violette punches back with an ace on the turn.
Oh, geez. When Morgan Machina drives home tonight, Lon, I believe he's going to see Cyndy Violette in his rear view mirror, his side view mirror, and any other mirror he has in his car. He needs a king or 8 now on the river, else he is out of here.
And now the river card. And the knockout punch is a queen on the river. Violette's aces up, wins the hand, and knocks out Morgan Machina to boot. Machina was our chip leader, but goes away in 4th place. Cyndy's Lucky Rocks did their job. You can't even see them anymore, but charms and superstitions are common at poker tables these days.
Wow.
They are the subject of this edition of The Nuts.
Irish socks might make me lucky today.
Robert Williamson wears a new pair of lucky socks every day. Jeffrey Lissandro always chews gum. And Jesus never shaves during the World Series. Trinkets, diets, photos, there's a lot of strange superstitions out there.
Every gambler is, suspicious, but some a lot more than others.
I have some quirks, some things that I like to keep a pattern on.
Lucky hand, lucky shirt, lucky talisman.
If I'm winning, I wear the same jacket, same shirt.
I've found a couple of lucky pennies lately, and I keep them with me.
I may wear the hat. It's just a hat I'm used to.
I've been eating the same types of food.
I think I only have one superstition is I don't like $50 bills. So I know other players that just bring 50s in the game and start counting them down.
I used to have a lucky frog shirt that's won millions. I'd like to have that shirt back.
So superstitious styles may vary, but the real question is, do they actually work?
I don't think having a rabbit's foot would make me luckier. It certainly didn't make the rabbit any luckier, so why should it work for me?
Well, they say it's unlucky to be superstitious.
What those superstitions do is they just keep you thinking positive. You know, if you think that that's what was good for you, then that's what you should do.
Lon, my only superstition is I will not play poker on the same day that my wife files for divorce.
So you don't play much anymore. Cyndy, Violette, our chip leader Erik Seidel not that far behind, and Perry Friedman, same thing, a very tight race as we go three-handed for this World Series bracelet. Queens for Friedman. Queens can be lucky.
Yeah, it's three-handed with 3 bracelet winners here, Lon, so a lot of quality at this table.
75.
75,000 chips from Perry Friedman to open the action. Over to Cyndy Violette, who folds. Erik Seidel. Well, you know that comment about Queens being lucky? Not against
Unlucky.
aces, yeah. Erik Seidel with pocket aces.
Yeah, that's the best lucky charm you can have, and he'll raise.
224,000 back in your face, Perry Friedman.
Perry is one of the best starting hands you can have in Hold'em. And I gotta believe he's got the best hand right here.
Erik looking awfully coy.
I'm all in.
And Perry's gonna run with the queens.
I call.
And Erik Seidel will call it. And Friedman sees he is hurting.
And he just ran into bad luck there. Going all in with the queens was the right thing to do. You want to knock out somebody with an ace-king or some type of flush or straight draw early. And he just ran into a better hand.
And now our flop, 8-9-7.
No help for Perry. He told us if he had to lose to any one player in the world, he preferred to be Erik. That's the type of respect he has for Seidel.
Queen of diamonds.
Perry's still calling for cards. And that's a 5. Some more outs now.
Yeah, Perry gets a little help there. He still needs a queen to win. Or if a 6 hits that board, they'll both have a 9 high straight and they'll chop the pot, and Perry will be able to sit down again.
He would love a chop pot at this point. As we go, one more card to the river, perhaps the end of the line for Perry Friedman. It's paint on the river, but it's a king. And Erik Seidel's pocket aces knock out Perry Friedman.
I think we can do it all.
Yeah.
Third place, $196,000 for Perry.
If you're around this guy a lot, Lon, you really want to be around him some more. He's fun to play with.
Good luck.
So Perry Friedman makes his exit, wishes luck to the 2 remaining players, 2 bracelet winners, Erik Seidel and Cyndy Violette, after the dismissal of Friedman.
My hand says, why couldn't you crack aces one more time?
The 2005 World Series of Poker is presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, brewed for a man's taste. Miller Brewing Company, and in part by Toyota. Choose any direction as long as it's forward. Toyota, moving forward. And Harrah's Entertainment, home of the world's richest poker tournament.
2 of the game's brightest stars remain as they get set to go heads up for this no-limit World Series bracelet. Cyndy Violette has 1 bracelet to her credit, and Erik Seidel has 6. Both of these seasoned pros certainly know what it takes to succeed going heads up.
Heads up is a lot more about playing rather than the cards.
You're in almost every hand, so you've really got to make a lot of decisions, and you better make them right. I have a lot of experience at trying to think through things under pressure, so I'm hopeful that that experience will be worth something.
I'm gonna just keep playing the way I've been playing. I feel like I've been playing really good. I just want to stay in the moment, deal with what comes up as it comes up.
Hopefully we'll see some mistakes made, and hopefully they won't be coming from me.
Two great stories here. It took Cyndy a long time to win her first bracelet. Now she has a chance to win in back-to-back years, and Erik is knocking on history's door. Only 5 players have more bracelets than he does.
He's hungry, though. He did not win one last year, and with 4 deuce offsuit, he'll come out with 85,000 chips. Cyndy Violette's got 1, got 2 deuces. Pocket pair, not a bad thing heads up, though you'd like something bigger if possible.
Oh, but sure, but pocket pair, as you say, and heads up, always playable.
Cyndy Violette
85?
does push out the 85 to call. And Erik Seidel trailing Cyndy at this point, almost 2-1. And now the flop. 3, ace, 5. Seidel flops the straight.
And doesn't move a muscle. He flops the nuts, and now he'll have to decide how he's going to reel in the fish.
And Cyndy bets out 150,000.
Interesting bet for Cyndy. If she's determined that her opponent is not holding an ace, then her deuces might be good right now, and she's on a straight draw as well. So she might have the best hand.
Erik had the same face holding aces when he knocked out Perry Friedman.
375.
375,000 chips is the bet.
So Cyndy's got to try to piece this thing together. In betting 150,000, she was probably hoping to get rid of Erik right there, but she didn't bet so large that she wouldn't be able to get away from this hand if she decides she's beaten.
And she does kick the deuces in.
A good decision. She's a solid player. She made a solid read there.
And Erik made a bet there, but maybe could have enticed Cyndy to go all in and won the tournament right there. But again, a great laydown by Cyndy Violette behind in the hand. She's going to need better cards than deuces, I think, to beat Erik Seidel as we continue heads up.
Now you got to remember about Cyndy, and this is why you got to respect her a lot. She's a stud specialist. She made her name in the game playing stud. Playing Hold'em is a different poker muscle, and she has worked herself into being a top-notch Hold'em player.
Right now, Shannon looks on at her mother, trailing a little bit more than 2-1. $612,000 going to our bracelet winner today, Erik Seidel. Checks the whole cards of pocket eights. He's had a lot of nice pocket pair today.
Actually, he's had pretty smooth waters to navigate most of the day. Heck, I probably could win with his cards.
That'll be the day. 85,000 chips from Erik Seidel. She's got 1-9. Second card, 4 across. Oh, pocket nines.
All in.
With 700,000 chips. That's all she's got. She's going all in with those nines.
All in with a smile.
So Cyndy Violette risking everything.
Come on, gamble with me. Give me some action.
Well, what's going through Erik's head right now, as I've mentioned, she's pretty conservative. She wouldn't go all in with a bad hand. She might have ace-king, but he's figuring she's got a pair. If she's got a pair, it's a 50% chance she's got a pair lower than his. There's a 50% chance she has a pair higher than his. It's like a coin flip for him.
Call.
A man of few words, but when he speaks, everybody listens. He calls. Cyndy Violette now in good position to double up.
And if she doubles up, Lon, Violette will take a 2-1 chip lead over Erik Seidel in this heads up.
So 2 bracelet winners going toe-to-toe at what's been a very entertaining final table right down to the final 2. And now our flop. Oh, there's an 8. Oh, king of the flops. Seidel flops a full house.
Come on, 9.
And that is a killer for Cyndy. You heard her say, come on, 9, and now only a 9 will save her. She's going to need to see a 9, or Erik Seidel is going to be wearing another bracelet.
So with the turn card to come, Cyndy Violette needs some help, and she needs it right away, or she's looking at finishing in second place. Turn card, and ace of diamonds does nothing to help her.
And Cyndy down to her last card. She will need a 9 and a 9 only on the river, or Erik Seidel is our champion.
I'm getting over here on this side. I want to see. I want to see it. I want to see it when it comes out.
He wants to get the first peek of the card.
9 of clubs.
All right, so our river, perhaps the last of this $2,000 no-limit hold'em event. It's a 5. Violette gets a full house, but it's second best. Erik Seidel has just won his 7th World Series of Poker bracelet.
The all-time leaders, Doyle Brunson, Johnny Chan, and Phil Hellmuth have 9 bracelets. Erik now just 2 behind him.
Erik's wife, Rua, comes down out of the stands to congratulate her husband. Seidel played nearly flawless poker, working his way through this very challenging final table.
Oh, that's unbelievable. Good job.
And how about Cyndy Violette, short stacked at one point, fired back to finish second.
Thank you, thank you.
Tonight's final table featured a lot of personality.
Easy decision.
A lot of great players and a lot of excitement.
8! Yeah!
In the end, it came down to the 2 most experienced players at the table. Violette caught cards early, but her luck ran out in the end. And it was just in time for Seidel, who inches closer to the all-time bracelet record.
It's a thrill to get through 1,400 people and win my 7th. It was just an incredible day.
Erik Seidel wins again, and his legacy grows.